Live trained.
Hey Live Train, welcome to our next episode in our series, Personal Safety and Security. As you can see, today we're in parking garage. Today's episode is going to focus on how to safely maneuver through parking garages and make sure that you can get in and out safely without falling victim to a potential crime. And I say that because if you're fumbling through, walking toward your car with bags in your hand, looking for your keys, or distracted on the phone, you're going to be unaware of your surroundings and you're going to miss potential dangers. If you're distracted, you're going to be oblivious to what's going on and you're going to be the perfect target for a criminal. According to FBI data, parking garages and lots are the third most common location for violent crime in the United States. That's why the FBI has labeled parking garages and lots as violent, dangerous places. Our goal today in this episode is to help you prepare or provide you safety tips to avoid becoming victim in a parking garage. The most important thing that you can do in a parking garage, as in any other situation, as we've discussed repeatedly, is just being aware of your surrounding. Being mindful of what is going on around you, being aware of the things that are around you are really going to help you identify potential threats or danger and how to quickly either avoid or escape. When we talk about parking garages, one of the most important things that you can do to protect yourself is identifying or parking in the proper or best parking space. Now, when you're looking for that parking space, one of the things that I'd like you to think about is think safety first. Because if you're thinking safety first, you're not looking for that best parking spot. You're actually looking for that parking space that's going to allow you to safely park, enter and exit the parking garage, and allow you to enjoy whatever your plans are. So as you are looking for that parking space, where should you park? As you look around a parking garage like this, there are so many different options. One of the things that I will tell you, the most important thing when picking parking spaces is picking one where it's going to deter criminals from wanting to either break into your car or potentially attack you. So finding a spot that is in close proximity to entry, exit points, the elevators, security cameras, emergency telephones, those areas that are most accessible by people are going to be the most deterrent when it comes to criminals. As you look at that parking spot and you think about where should I park, always look for the most well-lit area. So again, you could be easily visible to bystanders and others so that criminals are not going to want to focus on you. Some of the tips that I will share with you as we walk around this parking garage are really going to help you change your perspective and your view of finding that best parking space. Now let's look at the inside of the entry exit point or the elevator area and look at some of the things that I would consider as I'm waiting for the elevator. As you can see, we're in the elevator bay. And you can really understand the advantage of parking near this area. When it's well lit, it provides you that level of protection or safety. It gives you a couple of different opportunities to enter or exit the parking garage. Whether you elect to use the elevators or the stairwell, you have those options available. This area is open, it's very accessible by other patrons, and as a result, most likely the criminals aren't going to want to target you in this area. So the closer that you can park to this area, the better off you're going to be. From here, there's always generally security cameras, emergency telephones, all of those things that are going to allow you to call for help or that serve as a deterrent to criminals. So when you park, my advice to you is please don't linger in your car. As soon as you park, quickly exit your car, look around, check out your surroundings, and then make your way to one of the entry-exit points. The more you linger, the more likely you're going to be identified as a potential victim. The other thing, avoid having things visible in your car. Anything valuable you should either put in your trunk or not have it to where criminals can see it and want to break into your car and steal anything. Always remember where you parked. There's a couple of different ways to do that. You can always drop a pin on your phone, which will help you identify where you parked, taking a picture of a landmark, or in this particular case with this garage, they actually put signs that help you identify where you park. If you think about the less time you're in the parking garage wandering around looking for your car, the less likely you could be identified as a potential victim. Again, your goal is to get in and out of these garages as quickly as possible, and it limits you being a potential victim. As we're looking around this parking garage, right, I want you to take notice of certain things. Right? The two best parking spaces in this parking garage are these first two. Right? Realistically though, we all know those are never available. But one of the things that you want to keep in mind when you're looking for that safe parking space is you want to be able to have a clear view of the entry point or the elevator bay. Because as long as you can see the elevator bay or the entry exit points, it gives you not only a direct access to them, but it is an area where it's open to the public, and as a result, criminals are going to be very unlikely to want to carry out a crime in this area. The other thing that I would recommend is as you're getting out of your car, immediately lock your car, take notice, look around, figure out where the other exit points are, the stairwells, things like that. In case something happens, you have another way of getting out. If you can't get to the elevator bay or to this particular area, you have alternative options so that you're not panicking and you freeze and unable to quickly escape. The other thing I always do is I always look for blind or dark spots where someone could be hiding, waiting to attack or commit things like purse snatching or an assault or anything like that. The more you can avoid those, the safer you're going to be. But at the end of the day, as we talked about repeatedly, the more that you're aware of what is going on around you, the more that you're aware of anything that is standing out, the more likely you're going to identify a potential danger and then quickly either avoid or get out of that area. Now, one of the things that I do want you to keep in mind, as I mentioned, I always prefer to use the most common entry-exit point. I'm always aware of where other emergency exits or stairwells, but I try to avoid them because the public generally does not use them, and as a result, you could be isolated or alone in those. As a result, you could be a potential victim. So while we're looking at the staircase right here, it's good to know where it is. It's good to be able to identify it in case there is an emergency and you have to escape and you can't get to the elevator bay. But if you look at this type of staircase, most people don't use this. As a result, you may be the only one going up and down, or someone may be using that to hide or use it as a staging point to attack you. You also want to look around and identify other blind spots or dark spots where someone could hide and be sitting there waiting for you to come by, and as a result, identify you as a potential victim. Now let's talk about you coming back to your car. Right? You've completed your shopping or whatever your plans were, and then if you're returning, again, as I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, you don't want to be fumbling with shopping bags, searching for your keys, or distracted on the phone. Ideally, consolidate your bags so that you have one hand always free. Before you get to the parking garage, you already want to have your keys in your hand so that you're ready to go. As soon as you get to your car, you can get in, lock the doors, and leave the parking lot. Now, the best thing you can do is always be in a group. If you can avoid walking into a parking garage alone, please do so. If you're uncomfortable, ask the security folks at that parking garage or the shopping center that you're at to escort you. They all will gladly do that. Stay off your phone. If you're looking down at your phone, social media, all of those things, you're gonna miss everything that's going on around you. And again, you're gonna become the ideal victim for a criminal. Having already identified where your car is, as soon as you get to your floor or level, you're gonna quickly get to your car. As you're walking, you're gonna be looking around and looking for anything that stands out. Is that car idling for too long? That car has been sitting there with the engine running or with people in it for no reason? Or is there someone standing there that's just doesn't belong or has been standing there for too long with no legitimate or purpose? Those are the things that you should be constantly looking for and being mindful of. If you're uncomfortable, again, back away, go back, ask for an escort, report anything suspicious. If you have your keys in hand, you're gonna quickly get to your car, you're gonna get in, immediately lock your door, start your car, and then slowly begin the process of leaving the garage. If you're mindful of what's going on around you, again, you're going to make it more and more difficult for criminals to identify you and also target you as a victim. It will protect you and your loved ones. Now, people will tell you, don't go out at night or don't go into a parking garage late or things like that. Of course, practically, if you can avoid doing that, great. But a lot of us have to work late or we have to accomplish certain things, and as a result, we're gonna find ourselves parking in a parking garage in the evening. If you can walk in a group, that of course is always safer than walking alone. But as I mentioned before, as you're walking into a parking garage and it's late, you've got to be extra vigilant. In one of my previous episodes, I talked about having a little flashlight with you, going to the movie theaters. If you know you're going to be out late, it wouldn't hurt to have a flashlight. If not, as I talked about consolidating your bags into one hand, you're going to have your keys in the other hand. It would be really helpful if you have a small flashlight on that keychain, which allows you to identify blind spots, illuminate where you're walking, your car, things like that. Again, worst case scenario, you always have a flashlight on your phone that you can use to help illuminate where you're going and any potential dangers. The more prepared you are, the safer you're going to be. So if you're going to be out late, think through, plan ahead, and always think about not only your safety, but your loved one's safety. And again, I hope you enjoyed this episode and look forward to seeing you at the next one on Live Train.
Live Trained.